This video is to explain how SAP process control and SAP business integrity screening can cover your expectation in terms of functionality for continuous control monitoring. So I follow your requirements mentioned in the demo script. So first, we'll see the transversal requirements and configurations. So user experience. So we can access to the application using different languages. Here you can see the list of languages. We have more than 30 languages available. You access to the application via Fiori tile. So Fiori is the SAP concept to access to any SAP application. So you can use Fiori tile or you can use what we call entry page. So an entry page is a home page. So instead of accessing Fiori tile, you access directly to this entry page with different subpages. So for instance, here we have a task list in terms of open issue. Here we have a dashboard. Here we have useful reports. Here you have useful links and so on. You have your work items, so all the notification, all the tasks that you are supposed to do in terms of internal control. So for instance, here I can access to the 9 open issue for monitoring, so for automation. So here I see the 9 issues automatically generated. You see here the origin of issue automating monitoring. You see here the different organizations. So I'm supposed to work for different organizations here. And you see here the owner of this issue. You see the priority, so you can access to high-level priority or to medium priority. In terms of users, you can define different roles within the application with different scope. So here you see the role related to organization. Here you see the role related to process and control. And here you see the roles related to risk, opportunities, and activities. So let's have a look at the second tile here. So here, as you can see, we have a process here, a guided process. So here I can assign people at process level, at sub-process level, or at control level. I select the 3. I can select a specific organization, or can I select a list of organizations, same for process, sub-process, control, and role. I click on next, and here, so I see the organization that I selected. I see here the level of role. So here you see the list of roles, and here you see the sub-process. So here you see in column, you see the different roles like control owner, control performer, control tester, and sub-process order. Of course, you could have more roles. It really depends on you. You can here enter someone to be the control owner for this control, and so on. And in this case, for instance, you can enter a sub-process owner for this sub-process. You click on next and so on. Regarding the user, so we have a report for that. So in report and analytics and user authorization analysis, you have here some criteria. Here I select a user, you click on go, and here you see the user, the username, the roles, the role ID, the scope, organization, regulations, and object type will be process, sub-process, risk, control. So here you see this is the control and the control ID. You can print and export in PDF or Excel format. Job monitor. So you can monitor failures. So here in rule setup, job monitor, you see that a job here is in error. So you can have a look at this job. You select the job. You click on open job. You have the job step log. And if you select the step in red, you see the detail of this step, and you see that an error is due to a problem of communication with the system. So everything is documented. Audit trail, so you can have a full traceability of actions. You use here in master data audit log. You can select central objects or local objects. For central objects, here you see the different objects. For local objects, here you can see the different objects. And in this case, for instance, you see for the local control, it's a creation. So you see the old field, of course, are blank and the new field. So you see everything, what information was populated. Master data management. So for organizations here, of course, you have a full autonomy to maintain organization. So for organization, you have a hierarchy with a limited number of levels. You can select an organization, whatever the level. You click on open, you see the different general information for the organization. You see all the objects linked to this organization. And if you click here, you see more information. If you select roles, you see here who is supposed to be the org owner, and you see other roles at organization level. Central process, sub-processes. So you access to these central processes and sub-processes in master data business processes. You see here the different process with a limited number of levels, sub-process and controls. You select a sub-process, you click on open, you see the different general information. You click on control to see the list of control assigned to these central controls linked to this central sub-process. You can have a look at the regulation linked to this process, the control objective, the account group. You can click here on the right to see more information. You can see the risk linked to this process and attachment, file, and links. Risk, you can maintain a risk template, central risk and risk instances. So in master data risk catalog, you have here the list of risk category and you have the list of risk template where you can manage any number of levels of risk category. You can distribute a risk template to all the organization that you want. So here in this case, we select a risk template, we click on open, we see the general information, you see the impact by impact category, you click on driver to select the drivers by driver category, you see here the risk instances. So this risk assigned to some organization and to different activities. So here this is the same organization, but this link is linked to two different activities. You can select one risk instance and you click on open to see the detail. For the control, we manage central controls. So in the same area, master data business processes. So here I select a central control linked to a central sub-processes. I click on open, so you see the different information of the central control. You can select regulations to see the detail of regulations. You see here the central risk linked to this central control, the account groups, and attachment and links for the detail. Instantiated processes, sub-processes, and instantiated local controls. So what I mean by instantiated is assigned to entities or units. So here in master data organization, I open the hierarchy, I select one organization, I click on open, I can access to the sub-process. Here you can see if local changes are authorized or not. So you can see here that nothing can be changed at local. So that means if you select a sub-process, a central sub-process, you can't change the attributes for this sub-process. I select one sub-process. maintain vendor master data. I click on open. So here I see the sub-process. So you see that everything is gray, so you can't change. If you select controls, you see the local controls, so the control assigned to the sub-process. And you see here, the source is a reference, so it's not a local control. It's a copy of central control because you see here reference. That means you did a copy. But as you can see, you can add a local control if required. So if I select here a central, a control, I select a control, I click on open, and I see here a, 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 a local control. You see everything is gray, so you can't change this information. If I click here, I can see more information. So here you access to the regulation information. You see that, sorry, I go back. You see that this control is semi-automated. So that means I have a business rule. So if you select business rule, you see here the business rule assigned to this control. Evaluation. So you see that this control has been self-assessed. You see here the date, and the result was adequate. So no issue has been generated. Monitoring jobs. So you see that this control, this semi-automated control has been scheduled twice. So you see is the execution date, and you see that no deficiency has been detected. So no exception has been generated. The risk, you can open the risk. You see the risk information, account group, and you can have here more information, especially in terms of roles. So you see here who is supposed to be the control owner, the control performer, the control tester, by regulation or cross regulation. So you see here the different people who will receive the workflow notifications. Attachment, you see so the last information in terms of files and links. So we are back here to the sub-process. So same for the sub-process, you can see regulation information, control objective information, account group information, risk information, risk. And if you select a risk, you see if you have any control. So here you have two control. So you see the two control assigned to this risk, assigned to this risk. So the two control were supposed to mitigate this risk, the policy, the roles. So here you see the different roles for this sub-process. So you see the sub-process owner and the sub-process owner for some specification, for some regulation and cross-regulation. And lastly, you see attachment and links. And master data update. So you can upload information in the system. So you see here the tool provided with the solution, master data upload generator, MDUG. This is the nickname of this tool. You have a link here to access to this information on the internet. So I click here and you access to this information. So here you have the different steps. So you need to gather and cleanse, of course, the source data first. After, you can generate a template using a program. You can populate the template generated, and you can upload your data into the template, and you can review the uploaded master data in process control. You have here more information. You see which transaction to run and so on. We have done some logs to detect any, I would say, deficiency or errors in this process of uploading the data. You see here the list of objects which can be uploaded in the systems, and you see how many fields. For instance, for the control, central control, we have 55 fields which can be populated. So you see here using the transaction SE38, you see the program that you need to run. You see here with the program, you can generate a template. The template is an Excel spreadsheet with lots of tab. And for each tab, you see the number of fields that you can manage. And at the end, you can upload the data using the template generated first. Data extraction and data analytics. So business rule control library. So we provide free delivery control for process control. You have all the links here for S4HANA and for SAP ERP ECC. You have the list of the pre-delivery controls. You have two, screen 1 and 2. Same for business integrity screening. You have pre-delivery detection methods. So you have here the list of the for different irregularity types in accounting documents, in outgoing payments, in customer transaction and master data, irregularity concerning new vendors, one-time accounts, purchase order items, irregularities in vendor data and transaction, in travel expenses, in claims. Business rule control configuration. So can the control be customized? Yes, of course. And what are the settings? So let's have a look at the rule setup. So in the rule setups, we have the business rules. So for instance, here we open one business rule to give you an example. So you see that this business rule is PO to vendors in high-risk countries. So you see here the different general information for this automated. So the sub-scenario here is HANA view. So this automated control is based on a HANA view in HANA database. You see the different status when you create this business rule, can be active, inactive, or in review. You see the name, the description, the category. You can access to the different type. First is data for analysis. So you see the selected field and the available field, which can be used in addition to these ones. Filter criteria. So here we select a specific company code. You see here the number of this company code. And we also do a selection for the PO date. The PO date needs to be between this value. Deficiency criteria. So you see here the different deficiency type, high, medium, low, depending on value that you can enter here for the different ranges. You see the output format, the ad hoc query. So you can run an ad hoc query for data collection first, for instance. And after data collection, you can apply the rule and you see how many deficiency the system is able to detect. Controls. So you see if any control use this existing business rule. Here you have 4 controls. So this is the same name of the control, same description, but in 4 different organizations for the same process, same sub process, and it's a semi-automated control. And lastly, you see files and links that you can assign to a business rule. You have much more information available on the internet in the SAP process control documentation. So you see here for continuous control monitoring, you see information for the scheduler, for the automated monitoring overview. You see as well how to manage parameters for business rule. You see how to use the different sub-scenario, ABAP report, HANA-based application, HANA views, the configurable sub-scenario, the BW query integration. You see SAP query sub-scenario, and you see, for instance, SOD monitoring for the integration between process control and access. You have this link here to access to this page. Business rule control scheduling. Yes, you can schedule, of course, your automated control immediately, or you can plan them. So in automated monitoring, you have access here to the different jobs. So you can create a job. So you have a time frame, a year, a job type. You click on continue, and here you can select the execution type, immediate, date and time, or event trigger. So let's select time, date and time. So you can put the execution time, the frequency, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, or whatever. You put the test period from and to. You click on, you put a name, of course. You click on select, and or you can select immediate, okay. And in this case, you have other parameters, and you click on next. Here you select a regulation, and you can decide if you want to share the result with other regulation or not. Here you can select the control using the different criteria. So here, for instance, we select all the control, including monitor vendor. So we have two controls. So we select the two control, clicking here, and we click here, and we select the two control. We click on next, and for the first control, you can see the business rule. If you select the second control, you can see the business rule, and we can save. So the schedule has been saved successfully. If we go back, we can see that he has been completed with the job is completed, but with problems. So we can open the job, we can go to the job step, and we can see that one control is in error, and one business rule here is completed. So if we have a look at the first one, we click on job step log, and we see that it's a problem of communication between process control and the application. Control ad hoc launch. So as we see, we can select a specific control here and launch it immediately. New control definition. So of course you are free to define and implement new controls. You remember, so we are speaking here about automated control. So you can select first the data source. The data source, you refer to this data source in your business rule, and this business rule is linked to a control, and this control is linked to organization. When you have the control and the business rule, you can schedule, and when the system detects exception, it generate issues, and this issue can be linked, or you can create a remediation plan for an issue. You can create or reuse a data source, query, report, program, HANA, CDS view, or SOD monitoring. You can create a business rule and assign it to the data source. You can assign the business rule to a control, and you monitor and you schedule the control. For more detail, please refer to another video, how automated control are set up in SAP process. Suspicious transaction blocking. Yes, so we can do that in SAP business integrity screening. So in this case, someone run a payment process. So in this case, we receive 3 alerts regarding embargo check. So if we have a look at the third one, we see here that a screening has been done for a business partner. So this business partner is listed in 2 lists. You see here the two entities that the system detected. If you click on activity, you can here go directly to the backend system. It's a payment system. So here you see that the payment has been blocked. You see here the different mention. Here you can block or unblock the supplier. So if you click on block, you can here put a reason, you note, and you click OK, and you see here the icon and the mention. Alert workflow documentation. So as we see, you receive notification in alerts in business integrity screening. In process control, you receive alerts or exceptions in the work inbox. So each time an exception is detected, you receive a notification here. You can assign a remediation plan for the issue, not alert, another term that we manage here. Or you can close the issue with a plan. It's not necessary. You can reassign the issue. You can go to the exception to see the list. We have 4 exceptions, and you see the results of the automated control. And in this case, you see that we compare the supplier information in the master data governance system with S4HANA. And here you see, so the supplier ID, here it's the supplier ID, so we have the same, but we have a difference in terms of bank account. So the bank account for each supplier here is different, okay? Here it's 2, 1, 5, 2, 8, 4, and this number is different to this number. So the bank account used for these 4 supplier is different. So it's why they are here listed. And in process control, the control owner receive the exception in his mailbox. Okay, so in this case, you receive here the list of alerts, the list of exceptions, and you receive here the the task to perform. So instead of going to the systems, the control owner can access in offline mode to what he is required to do. So you click here, you download, and you have access to all the information you see at the evaluation information, issue, regulation, control detail, risk, attachment, and here so the end user can assign remediation plan. So you have exactly what you have in the screen, but in offline mode. And at the end, you can submit, and the system will update the process control database with this information. Validation of exceptions. Yes, so let's go back in business integrity screening. So when we manage an alert, so we select this alert. In decision, you can decide, for instance, here in the decision phase, if you want to confirm the alert, so it's a real irregularity, and you have confirmed here in terms of reason, or you can, in decision, you can, for instance, say, no, it's a false alarm. And you save, and in this case, you have the reason false alarm. So we have such information. Non-validation of exception. So as a control owner, you want to identify the alert as critical and design an action plan. So yes, we see that. So we select, in this case, an issue, okay, and we can assign a remediation plan. To populate this information, you assign a remediation plan owner, and you click on OK. The workflow. So we have some escalation process. So in this case, for instance, I am Jan Rob, I am the processor, but I want to assign this issue or this remediation plan. In this case, it's not an issue, it's a remediation plan. So, but it's the same for an issue. So as I am the remediation plan owner, but I want to assign this remediation plan to someone else. So I click here and I can assign Tim Brown. And you see now the processor is Tim Brown. Okay. I am the control owner, but I assign this remediation plan to Tim Brown. So Tim Brown will receive a notification for that. Export. Yes, so as you can see, we can export in Excel format or PDF format for each report. Escalation process. Yes, so for each workflow in the configuration, so if a workflow is not completed by the planned due date, the workflow remains open until it's completed, and the due date can be configured in the system with reminders or escalation to notify user of tasks approaching or past their due date. So this is done in the configuration of the system. Action plan. So action plan owner can easily see their pending action plan. Yes, we have some report for that. So in assessment, we have remediation status. So we have some criteria here to select for which organization and so on. We click on go and we see the list of remediation plan with the reported by remediator, status, close, draft, the duration of remediation plan, the due date, and so on. And we can, of course, export in PDF or Excel format. Reporting and dashboard, we have some standard reports. So you see here many examples for process control, and for business integrity screening. And for instance, in this case, I want to see the 19 alerts, so I can click on one part of the dashboard and I see the 19 alerts. New report definition. So yes, new report and dashboard creation. So customers are fully autonomous to define and implement new reports and dashboard. SAP GRC solution have native integration, of course, with SAP Analytics Cloud, SAP BW, Business Warehouse, and Business Intelligence. In addition, you can use other reporting tools such as Jean-Luc to access SAP data CDS views. And if the SAP HANA CDS view is already available, minimal IT competency skills are needed. Report sharing and sending. Can report be automatically sent to a specific group of users? Yes, so I show you that in SAP Analytics Cloud. So for a story, so here we are in the story list. So we can select a story. Here you see a story. We can share it with users, with teams, and we can decide which kind of access we want to provide to these user or teams in view mode, edit mode, and so on. Report features. So of course, we provide some filters, some capability to export and print. So you see here some filters, for instance, some criteria, and you see the criteria to print or to export. Predefined KPIs, key arise. Yes, so we provide an example of KPIs here. We provide a key arise, but it's SAP internal intellectual property, so it's just for our customers, but we share this information. You have a link here to access to this information. And of course, you can create your own KPIs, key arise. You are fully autonomous for that. So of course, also with our solution or BI solution, we can define and create, implement customer specific KPIs, KRIs, KCIs, key control indicator. But you can do that with other reporting tool, of course. And I hope that I cover all your expectation regarding this list of requirements.